All right, guys, today we got a 2013 Ford Escape with a 2-liter in it. Client says she had a rack and pinion put in it and it won't turn. Let's get into it. Backstory is the steering was hard to turn all the time and a rack and pinion was replaced. After the rack and pinion was replaced, she had some warning lights on the dash, and she said that when she goes to back up and turn, that the steering is hard to turn. So that's what we've got. And and she said that they told her it needed to be programmed. So that's why it's here, is because she thought it needed to be programmed. Before we go just programming something, because it doesn't sound right to me, let's scan it. Let's see what we got. Let's kind of figure out what's happening. All right, so I already felt it. We know it. So look at where the wheels are right now. See where they're at? They're not turned, right? They're kind of straight ahead. But look at here. I mean, I'm turning. That's real. I mean, that's tight. So the other way, boop, this way hits that spot and just stops. And again, where is that at? Straight ahead, right?
Pretty close.
Yeah. So when I go this way, though, it goes all the way. That's all the way turned, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah. So something is really funky with that. Let's go ahead and do the full scan here.
What's your brain thinking?
My brain, well, we've got a traction control light on and a check engine light on too. Don't you love how the LEDs flash? Hold on, it's scanning the HVAC. I was going to just turn it off, but I'll let it scan it. So it says it didn't do anything. What are my thoughts? I mean, she said it was hard to turn all the time before, and now it's not hard to turn, obviously, that direction. And she said it only does it when she goes to back out. Probably going down the road.
She said straight down the road is good.
Yeah, straight down the road going is good, but it's not turning then. My gut says that something's not right with the alignment part of it, whether that be and I would think that if it had like if the steering wheel was off, my concern if the steering wheel was off, like if it wasn't attached correctly, that the clock spring or something would have been damaged. But I don't have airbag light on, so because if this thing turns too much, like for instance, when you take the rack and pinion, so you guys can get into my, since Sherwood asked me what I'm thinking, we'll get into this mess up here. When you take the steering shaft off the rack and pinion, then obviously the steering wheel can just spin. I mean, it can just spin indefinitely. You've got to keep that thing locked into a position, because if you let it turn and you don't know where it's at, on something like this, any vehicle with a steering angle sensor, you can get that way out of whack. But really bad is the clock spring, because the clock spring will get damaged if it turns too far one way or too far the other. Then it'll break the clock spring. So, and then you'll have an airbag code on. You'll have controls up here that don't work. So, all right. So we've got our full scan done. Let's just go in here and see what we have for. We have quite a few codes and quite a few modules. I hit report. Did I do something wrong? Do that. There we go. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay, analog brake, U code, lost communication with the steering angle sensor module. Okay. U code, missing communication with body control module. ABS, invalid data from steering angle sensor module. And invalid data from it. Okay, same thing. So then we got some other, let's see what the body control, since we had a communication with body control, let's see what's in the body control. PATs, I'm not worried about PATs. Instrument cluster lost communication. This thing looks like it has some communication issues. HVAC communication, and then some door controls. Looks like maybe the wrong bulb was installed in the High mount brake light. All right, let's see what else we got. Because we have a check engine light on too, so we'll control module communication error in the instrument panel. Communication error with the body control module again. Got a lot of communication problems here. Missing communication with the ECM. This is in the instrument control module. Whew, this has just got... Oh, there's powertrain control. Okay, yeah, so low pressure, fuel system pressure too low, catalyst efficiency. Okay, well, those clearly aren't going to do anything with our... Okay, what's our power steering? Here we go. Let's go on our power steering. Power steering control module. Invalid data received from ABS control module. Invalid data from steering angle sensor module. Invalid data from steering angle sensor module. And the steering angle sensor module just says steering angle sensor. Okay. All right. Well, I want to get it pulled in, and we're going to get some data pulled up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave it out here because we're running it and we don't have our exhaust system set up yet. So we're going to not try to I can't say that word. I just tried to say it. Officiate.
Sophisticated?
No, officiate. Strangle ourselves. I can't even remember. Officiate. I can't say the word. It's in my brain and I literally can't say the word. Oh well. All right. Data stream. And steering. Okay, let's look at the status. And here we go. Degrees. And let's look at the direction too, just to see if something weird there. All right. That's got... What in the world? First of all, the steering wheel angle degrees, 12,592 degrees. Standard range 0 to 1,000. I'm not thinking that a degree can... I don't know. I guess... No, that's not right. Does it change? It does change. Can I get it to 0? Oh, I can get it to 0, I think. Hang on. No, it's just kind of bouncing all over the place. Let me just take it slow here.
0 degrees should be straight.
I would say that's straight, yeah, 0 degrees. We're getting really close to 0 right now. And there is, 0. Pretty much dead on. What are we at there?
Out here.
What you got out there?
Not 0.
Well, not 0.
Not even close.
Where is it? Which way is it going? Pointing to the left? Pointing to the left. In the steering wheel angle, steering direction says left. Let me go to the right and see. Okay, now it's going to the right. So it's picking that up. All right, so you're saying that right now. So I got the steering wheel. So let's look at this real quick here. That steering wheel is pretty much straight ahead. I'm showing 9 degrees on the scanner, and it's pointing to the left.
Yeah.
All right, so let's think about this for a second. We're not ever having a problem turning it to the left. We only have a problem turning it to the right. Let's see when we have a problem turning it to the right, or if we're going to have it now. Oh, there it is right there. So when this thing gets to like 17,000, I don't even know what that number even means. But when it gets to that really high number, it gets really stiff. Which way where are we facing right now?
Yeah, barely right.
Barely right. Yeah. So and it's kind of pushing back, guys. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm getting here, and it's kind of trying to shove me back. You saw that? Mm-hmm. Right? I think we need to get under this vehicle and see where the tie rod ends are. I wonder if we're going to have one tie rod end way turned out, one tie rod end way turned in, and somebody got the steering wheel off or something like that, and now they got the rack, something way out. The alignment, the steering wheel straight, but it's not really straight. That's going to, because I could get it, boy, you said it's way far out. All right, let's get it over in there. Let's pull it in. Let's get it jacked up, since I don't have a rack to rack it up in this bay. Let's get it jacked up, and let's get it, let's look at those tie rod ends. All right. Got it jacked up. I just wanted to a quick look. Got the jack stand under here. Please don't get under one without a jack stand. Just want to look at the tie rod ends. All right, this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 threads. You see it right here? So,
Okay.
roughly 5 threads here. Let me slide over to the other side. And this one, well, it don't look too different. 1. Yeah, it's pretty much the same, 5 or 6 threads. Not what I was expecting to see. Okay, let me get out of here. Let me get out from under here.
You want a rack?
Huh?
You want a rack?
Do I want a rack? Yeah, I want a rack. I want a rack. We're going to get a rack one way or the other. All right. Huh. Well, so I tell you what, I haven't been this up and down under cars in a long time. Makes you appreciate having a rack, I can tell you that. Okay. I will tell you without question, this is not a programming problem. Programming is not going to fix that steering angle sensor. I lowered this down prematurely because this is my feeling on this thing. Something is wrong with that steering angle sensor. Something is not on right with that. It's either not on right or it's damaged. And what I want to do is I want to see when you put a rack and pinion in it, you guys know you've got to take the steering column off of it, and I want to see where that pinch is. Can it go on more than one way? Did the steering wheel, I know the steering wheel moved, I just know it, but did it move and then it got put back on? I mean, sometimes it could only go on one way, but it could be gone, even though it could only go on one way, it could go on, 180 degrees out or maybe 360 degrees out, something like that. So I want to see where this the coupler is, because it's usually under here. So we're going to see if I can see it without taking the wheel off of it. Okay. Well, I hope it's not there, because that's a bear. Can you see there? What I'm looking at is right, I don't know if you can see that or not, but right where my flashlight is pointing, that is a cover, and then the rack is literally going into that cover. You see it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we don't want it to be under that. Boy, I tell you what, I have seen cars where they've done that before. Usually there's like a split or something ridiculous that will take you 12 hours to... Actually, I'm going to leave that there because I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Let's not take it down again. So that's like a protector to keep the steering shaft goes down through that plastic piece into the rack. There's usually a coupler right there at the rack. I just want to see what the steering column looks like under here. Oh, we actually might be okay. I'm thinking that it's right. I'm thinking that rack is literally right below this. I'm thinking this is the rack. I'm probably touching the rack right now. Shaft coming out of the rack. Oh, that'd be stinking wonderful. Okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to zero that steering angle sensor. What just happened? Oh no. Okay, well, for some reason we got kicked out of the car. Let me get back in it. I don't know why we got kicked out. Why did we get kicked out of this car? All right. Let me latch this so that we don't have that dinging constantly.
So we don't get the comments.
So we don't get the comments here. I'll be honest. When I'm here working on it, I don't even hear that noise. But when you listen to it on a video, whoo, that's all you hear is that noise. So I understand. Come on, baby, get back in there. So what I want to do is I want to zero this sensor. We were in steering angle sensor. And I want to see where the wheels are pointing. See where the steering wheel is. There we go. Okay, well, why is it sitting at 0 degrees right now? I'm pointing literally all the way to the right. See, now we're not reading.
Maybe because we're off the ground.
I don't know how off the ground would do anything to do with it. I mean, I guess maybe. What just happened here? Let me just keep going all the way over and we'll go back. No, because there's all the way. Huh. Okay. The plot thickens. Well, I guess we can lower it down. I don't know how that would have any effect whatsoever on it, but we'll do it. Well, we know where we're going to be. Well, you going to try to lower it down? Okay there, NASCAR. You're dropping it awful fast there, weren't you? It is not reading. It is not reading. That was weird. What just... I did not turn that key all the way off. We might have something going on there too. All right. It's not reading. Let me start it. No. Well, it did say it lost communication with it before. Are we losing communication with it at the same time? We're... Okay. I want to... Let's look at the direction. I don't think we're going to have anything. Let's look at status. It says error. Steering wheel angle sensor status error. All right. We are going to look and see where this steering angle sensor is located. Let's do that. Looked it up. Steering angle sensor is actually the clock spring. So it's part of the clock spring. So that is probably not good news if we're losing communication, but I went into the steering angle sensor module and it says right now fault currently present. You can see here is signal above permissive range. Like I said, clock spring can be damaged by the wheel not being in the proper position. So, but we saw the thing working before. Let's pull it back up again and just maybe we'll get lucky. And I just want to try to figure out now. No, it says 0 degrees right now. So now it says 0 degrees. It could default maybe. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's do this. Only because I saw it. I saw it working. And I lost all my scan. So we're going to scan the whole car again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to clear the whole car out. I'm going to cycle the key, cycle it back on. I've got the steering wheel. We were close to 0 and it was pointing all the way to the left. Is that correct?
A lot to the left.
A lot to the left. All right, so you tell me if it's
Yeah, about right.
about there because that's where I was 0 there. Yeah? Okay. So where are the wheels? Way left. All right. So when we were out there and we had the wheel turned that way, I was looking on here and it was pretty close to 0 right there. So we're going to try to leave it pretty close to 0, what I think is going to be 0. And then we're going to clear it out and see if it will be close to that when I scan it. hopefully it will be. And then if so, we're going to try to figure out if we can't make the turn it so that this right where we're positional right now with our steering wheel straight ahead and our steering angle sensor 0, make the wheel straight ahead. If we can get this thing to read that steering angle sensor again. And the ABS module still has a code in it after it cleared. And the power steering control module has a code in it. Cycle the key. Alright, let's just look and see what these codes are. Okay, invalid data from the steering angle sensor. Invalid data from the steering angle sensor and invalid data from the ABS control module. I wonder if it doesn't get that. That feeds from the ABS control module to the power steering. Let's see what the steering angle sensor says now. It says 0, and it ain't reading. That sucks. I was going to get this thing where it was sitting at 0 on the steering angle sensor. Okay, good. That means that the steering angle sensor thinks the car's going straight ahead, but the wheels were pointing over here. That's where we had it when we were sitting out front there, right? And what I was going to do then was just see if I couldn't get the steering coupler loose, which I still got to do, make the wheels be straight right here without moving the steering wheel, see if that shaft will go back down on there, and then if it will, then I'll know all that's good. At that point, I was hoping that the steering angle sensor wasn't damaged. She would be fixed. That was where my thought was going. But now, that's kind of out the window. Let's see if this thing's hard to turn. So she said it was sometimes it would do that, right? Yeah. Let me see, now it's easy to turn. We still got a traction control light on, obviously. Now it's easy. Now it's basically defaulted. What it's done is it has defaulted to Sherwood went to look for a steering angle sensor or clock spring or however you want to call it. I'm sitting in here just messing around with it, and I went back into the data stream and it's now reading. So if we look at the data stream right now, we can see it's at 139, and I can put it where it's kind of moving around. I'm assuming the wheels are turned way to the left right now. Okay. All right. This thing's going to need a clock spring in it, or steering angle sensor clock spring / assembly, because it's not going to come and go, I don't think, because of this. But now that we've got it reading, and I know that this is where we need to be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack this thing up. I'm going to take that shaft loose. I'm going to take the wheels and straighten them out. And then hopefully that shaft is going to slide back on in that position. And then we'll be able to turn the wheel back and forth, drive it, and let's see if the steering angle sensor reads and continues to read. I think it's been damaged. But I can't 100% say that without, let's get this fixed. We got to get this other problem fixed first anyway, because if I put a clock spring in it and then I go to turn all this stuff, we could potentially damage it. So we're gonna do this one first. Now that I'm able to read it, we're good. Both front wheels are off the ground, got jacked up, jack stands back under it. And the reason I've got that is I want to be able to turn the wheels easy. I don't want to be messing with the steering wheel. I want the steering wheel to be where I had it, which is right there. Let me do this. So we're gonna have it like that. I would normally take a steering wheel lock, like for an alignment machine, and lock it down. But I think we're gonna be okay here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that shaft loose, and then we're gonna turn those wheels, so we're not messing with this. I'm not trying to figure out where the steering wheel needs to be. I'm just gonna throw the wheel straight ahead. So let's go ahead. So I'm ready to go here. I'm gonna hold the steering wheel while I'm doing this. And hopefully, this bolt had to be out soon, fairly recently, so. though, I guess. All right. Okay. So what I want to do is, that came off incredibly easy. Holy moly. All right, now we've got the fun part of keeping the steering wheel where it's at. So I'm going to have Sherwood hold that steering wheel with his hand and not let it turn. This is where this is why you would lock it down with a... You got that? All right, don't let that move. I'm going to take this wheels and hopefully you see that notch in the shaft under there? Can you see the notch? Hopefully that notch is going to end up right back where it is. Kind of like right there. Pretty close.
I didn't see it move.
Huh? You didn't see this move?
Oh, I was looking at the wrong spot. I couldn't see that.
Did you see this or no?
I didn't see it.
Did the camera see it?
Uh,
Did you guys see it out there? Hopefully.
it was blocked by
Because
that, probably.
this is what... I'll put it back to where it was. So it was somewhere... Probably about right there.
Yep.
And now we're... That should be about... That notch should be back in that same spot again.
Not exactly.
Close to it. I mean, it's not exact because I'm...
Yeah.
Right, but... Now let's... And so what I want to do actually is I'm going to turn the steering wheel. I'm going to turn those wheels. Tell me when that thing is kind of right here, okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Say that again.
That notch.
Okay.
That's good?
I think so.
About like that? Oh, yeah. All right, we may have to move the steering wheel just a little bit. I mean, it's not dead on zero. I can't hold it. You can let me have the steering wheel now. All right, boom. There we go right there. That's back down. That's back down all the way. We're going to go ahead, get this back in, and snug it down.
It'd be nice if this somehow fits.
I am going to tighten that up. All right, let me get something to tighten that down with. Okay. I just want to see if this is going to fix it. No matter what, I'll have to come back and torque that. Let's lower this down. All right, I've rescanned it. I'm going to re-clear it because now actually the code is back. It just says steering angle sensor in the steering angle sensor module. Let's clear all the codes again. PCM code already came back, by the way. So maybe if we get this fixed, maybe she'll want to fix that. We'll see if that's something she's interested in. Looks like that's going to come back pretty quickly. All right, so we will got all the codes cleared. Cycle the key.
Wasn't clear before.
All right, let's go ahead. We'll start it up. Don't want to die in here, but we'll start it up. Let's just go into one of these models and see if there's a code in it, because we have to rescan it. Right now, that code will not just pop up live on here. So let's just see if it's got one in it. Nope. Oh man. Okay, now we haven't turned the wheel at all. Let's go into steering angle sensor. Let's go to fault. Okay, nothing there. Now let's go to key on, engine off. I got key on, engine on right now. Let's see if it yells at me and says to turn the key off, or the engine off. Oh, so it ran a self-test there. I was hoping it would make me turn the steering wheel, but it didn't. All right, let's go into data stream. Let's go into steering angle. All right, so we're at 97 degrees right now. That's something. See, something's not right because there's 0. That's pretty much straight ahead, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the problem. That's saying that I mean, I'm barely touching it right now, right? I mean, I would think 90 degrees is 90 degrees. I could be wrong, but I think 90 degrees is 90 degrees, and so there's 0. See if I can get it back to 0 now. I mean, this is crazy how much it's moving. So that's 0 pretty much right there, and that's 120 degrees. That's 260 degrees. That's 514 degrees. I don't know. Let's try turning it all the way. See, now it's way out. It's out in the red again. All right, yeah. So I guess let me try to 0 it again. Let me get the steering wheel straight ahead. Let me back it up. Watch yourself. I don't want to hit the door there. Hit you with the door. All right, I would consider that. All right, so that's straight. Let's see if there's a calibration in here. There is no calibration in the steering angle sensor module. I'm thinking this power steering gets it from ABS because the power steering was giving me a code to say incorrect data from ABS. I think the ABS is what is going to have it. Interactive vehicle dynamics initiation sequence. Let me see here. Sure that don't shake or bounce the vehicle. Ensure you're not pressing the brake pedal. Level ground. Steering wheel straight ahead, which we have. Okay, let's do it. Alright, so we want to do the calibrate the steering angle sensor. Switch key on engine off. Okay, let's see what happens here. Unable to perform it. Please verify. We're in position. Let's try it again. Maybe I had the key. I switched it. Okay, there we go. I switched the key off and back on again pretty quickly and then hit the button. I was a little too quick on the button push, I think, right there. Alright, we are hoping for the best here. Fingers crossed for this lady. Alright, it says it was successful. Turn ignition off. And then perform self-test, clear codes, rerun calibration if necessary. Alright, let's go back out. And let's do a vehicle scan again. Can I do that? I don't think I can do that. Can I not do that again? Alright. Let's go back into ABS. Wonder how I would do that. If you guys know how to do that from that screen, let me know. Alright, no codes there. I wonder something. So if it's on here, it should have a data PID for this. It does have. Why does it have 2 of the same ones? Let's pull them both up and see. All right, 0.01. No, 0.1. Start it up. Now we're reading a little better. All right, let's go. So let's go back to 0. That would be 0-ish right there. Straight ahead. Okay. We may be good here, guys. All right. So we're gonna go take this thing out for a test drive. Let me get washed up. We're gonna leave this in, and I'm not going to. This is just me. I'm not going to be in the ABS module when we're driving it because sometimes being in the ABS module, just in history of my career, and it could be different for you. I've just seen weird issues when you're in the ABS control module and you're trying to drive the vehicle. So we're going to be out of it. We'll leave the scanner hooked up though, and we'll go drive it. Actually, I think I'm going to pull up the PCM and just look at some data there. All right, let's go for a drive. As Willie likes to say, on the road again. We are heading down here. Now, got to remember, she said that it was fine going down the road, but when she went to back out of her driveway is when she had an issue. So we're going to go down to the end of this road. We're kind of back in behind the shop here. And we're going to go down to the end of this road, and we are going to back up, turn around, and come back. There's not going to be very many people on this road. As of right now, there's not going to be many people on this road, but boy, they are building a ton ton of apartments over here. You missed a whole block of them back there. It's crazy. They're building everywhere around here. Oh, that's good. That'd be a good thing. All right, so I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna stop and actually go out a little further than I would. Do back up and turn. It seemed to be turning fine there. Obviously, turning this way, it was fine. I don't want to go in these people's yard. I've mowed that grass in that yard before. when I was young, I remember mowing that grass. I had the thickest grass I've ever seen in my entire life. All right.
This thing's fixed.
I think it's fixed. We're going to go up a little bit. We're not going to go right here by these people and scare them. You go up a little bit, and then we're going to back up, and I want to back up and turn again. Because she said it was pretty consistent, right? As far as the backing up and turning.
Yeah, she couldn't make it.
She couldn't make it out of her
driveway
okay.
every time. So.
Yeah, I think this thing is fixed. It could be that when it got to, so far out of range that it eventually just went, kick that thing. I don't believe it. Stop sending the signal over the data, over the network. And so that way other modules could kind of take over and do their own thing so that it wouldn't be dangerous, because it was clearly dangerous. I mean, that thing was very, very difficult to turn and was kicking back. So I think this is, I thought it was going to need a module in it, but I think now that we're driving it and we're getting this thing to do its thing, getting this vehicle to do it and work perfectly. And I mean, I'm backing up right here. I mean, there's no problem with this vehicle now. So I'm going to,
she's going to want to adjust the check engine
yeah.
light, so we're probably going to do a part 2.
Yeah, we'll probably do another part. If she wants to look at the check engine light, we'll do another part on that. And we did save the initial scan. So although I did clear it, which kind of stinks because I like to have freeze frame data, it's okay because the one code came back really fast. I think it was low fuel pressure. I think it was low fuel pressure, something like that. So
it smokes too. So.
Oh, she said it smokes?
Yeah. So
like what color smoke?
White.
White smoke. Oh, ooh, okay. All right. Well, we're back at the shop. All right, that was a fun one. That was an easy one, kind of. I mean, definitely not difficult. And it shows the importance of reading the how-to on stuff, right? Because I guarantee you the how-to on that rack and pinion says to make sure that steering wheel does not turn. Clearly, they let it turn. I mean, it can happen. It's easy to do, right? But we've got to be diligent on that kind of stuff, because this one right here is fixed. We're okay. But I have seen countless clock springs damaged when this happens. Sometimes it doesn't turn the airbag light on. Most of the time it does. Sometimes it just messes with the steering wheel controls, things like that. But, and then the client comes back and says, my steering wheel controls don't work ever since you put a rack and pinion unit in there. Well, more than likely that was caused by the steering wheel not being locked down. So got to be aware when we're reading these descriptions and operations and these how-tos that we're diligent in taking care of all the things that it says it needs to happen. But this one here is fixed. I think she's going to be happy. We're going to talk to her about the check engine light. We appreciate you guys watching this one. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Drop down in our merch store. Go get some merch. Right, it's out there. We've put it on there for you. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.